Hello, my name is Carl Vincent. I am currently enrolled in my MHA program, and I am presenting to you a small, brief process improvement presentation. The focus of the discussion is to share what has been learned in the course with regards to current class material. The material will stem from current course and elective book readings. Also considered for the conversation will be weekly class and book discussions. In this analysis, elements considered important will be presented with hopes of allowing the viewer to understand the direction that I'm going. Elements for discussion are communication, leadership, process improvement tools, and positive team building. The ideals expressed are formulated from these three books. The last one, Beyond Heroes, being an elective book that we had to read for the class. I know for this presentation we're supposed to limit our notes. I do want to preface it that I can ramble, so I have to have a little bit of notes in front of me, or I will go off kilter and maybe talk about football. And that's not the point. So allow me to just illustrate a little bit of the elective book Beyond Heroes so that everyone has an ideal of what I'm trying to put together. The book is written by the author Kim Barnanas. She's actually currently the president of a large Wisconsin health facility. She had worked her way up through this program by using the lean approach to our theory processes, and she does a brilliant job of illustrating different stories of how each of the theories under lean helped navigate her through certain issues. With that being said, let's get on with the presentation a little further. How do you raise an organization? As you can see, I have on the ground floor facility mission and the roof as the organization. So let's start. What is the vision? The vision is the core set of values that are critical to strategic planning processes by providing a clear guiding principles that define who the organization is. Organization, what's that? The organization is all the stakeholders that run or influence the facility. So, in order to build up this roof organization, there are some pillars that I'd like to go through that are components that help lift the organization. These, I'd like to preface it and say all these build off of each other and work parallel, but are required set of skills that are necessary to proceed with a process improvement. So to start off, I want to go with communication. In my opinion, I think communication is probably the number one skill necessary. A little identifier for communication or definition from our books. Leaders who are capable of effective communication are shown to have proportional influence on employee satisfaction. It's good to know. From the book, the elective book, there are few chapters that I think focused on this. Not to say that they can't be intertwined in other areas, but I think as far as communication, this is where the lean in this book put it to the forefront. Beginning at the front line. Beginning at the front line in the book helps illustrate clear, safe, and open communication that allows for cross-contamination of ideals. This also helps build respect. It also did this by opening time for the leaders to carry out the communication with their employees. One of the things I prefaced in the book was that it allowed the leadership to cut 10 to 20% of all necessary meetings out of their daily work schedules. The huddle. Everyone who's familiar with Lean understands the huddle. It is a daily or weekly group huddle that allows an employee to own the ideal and be more involved and want to see the success of the process improvement. It opens the safe lines of communication across departments and shifts. Moving on to standard for work. Standard work, I think, could be under process improvement tools, but it really helps with communication. It allows the leader to follow a routine that allowed for time to speak to their employees and build trust and transparency, which we'll see presented later. So with communication, it allows the leader to achieve consistent cultural changes if done correctly. Let's move to our next pillar. Leadership. Again, in the brief definition, leadership. Authentic leadership is shown to help mediate and reduce stress in work environments for employees. Since it's a leadership class, I added a little bit more from our book, or my elective book, to help illustrate some of the leading skills that are necessary. Right away, the book opened up with Drowning Our Leaders. I thought this was a very good opening, and it illustrated how when a new leader comes in, you kind of just throw them in a room and let them go. That is a lost investment. They are not giving the proper direction on how to stay on track with their normal duties and the process improvements that the organization is trying to focus on. Then you go down to transparent and visual management. Again, this was seen throughout the book. I think a good way to look at it is it helps create a common language. But it also allows the leader to know when to let go and trust the employee. There are some secondary things that the book continued to hit upon with leadership. Mentoring their employees for future leaders. It recognizes that every employee has a potential to be a leader. Cultural coding was something I picked up outside this book, but the book does describe diverse working environments. But cultural coding, I think, fits well because it describes how a leader can adjust themselves to the different diverse culture activities that we're now seeing in our workforce. Moving on, process improvement tools. This is another important one that can be seen throughout all three books. For any organization to stay competitive, it requires the education of the whole to be better and faster than their competitors. Even within the book, it did use the A3 and the Fishbone process improvement tools, which were greatly described in our handbook book. But it also actually had chapters that revolved around the four highlights down in the corner. Status sheet, or status of business. It allows leaders to see what needs fixed or where coaching is needed for the employee. It eliminates that hero mentality that one person fixes everything all the time and nobody knows how to fix anything themselves. They always have to resort back to the hero. Problem solving. This incorporated a PDCA plan, which is Plan, Do, Check, Act. It was part of just a tool that this site, this healthcare center site, used to help indoctrinate new process improvements. It was somewhat unique to their site, and then it discusses it. Advisory teams or boards. This helps maintain and reevaluate the process of the improvements described by the book. From this, it also helps appreciate in our other book, Leading Healthcare Change, the appreciative inquiry and the positive deviance, which is you can correct, or the group with outside individuals don't know how to fix the problem within the inside, and it creates a positive atmosphere and works off of great communication and allows for mistakes, because you learn from mistakes and you don't hinder on the mistakes. Scorecards. Scorecards was a way to assess the progress towards the goals. It's not a quick fix, it's a systemic fix, which was unique again to this site, and it helped them see the overall organization's goals. The thing about process improvement tools, it's kind of a scientific method to address safety and quality while helping to develop the people. Using the correct tool for the process is also illustrated within the book. The wrong tool at times can be more of a hindrance than not. Moving on to the last pillar, team building. The definition that I like for positive team building is plan efforts by leadership to building stronger organization and individuals by developing solutions and initiatives for future goals. I highlight a direct quote out of the Beyond Heroes book. By engagement, I am referring to not just employees feeling involved, but also to peer-to-peer interactions that lead naturally to skill and leadership development. Again, this is focusing on eliminating that hero mentality and building on mentoring and education of the employees by leadership. When you build positive team building, it opens trust with a common agenda. It stresses coaching for correct growth, and it again sees everyone as a potential leader and no one person is the hero. And as you can see with these 4 pillars, the organization is lifted up, and as long as maintained through their advisory boards and good communication and consistent leadership, it will help maintain that up. I am not saying that there aren't other skills. According to our books, there's at least 10 skills other than communication. There are other philosophies. These are just 4 areas that I felt really connected all 3 books together. What makes it unique is that all these theories and skills have to be used to orchestrate in order to perform correct process improvements. So each book provides an outline of how to, basically. You cannot perform one well without the others working in conjunction. I hope everyone sees the view that I was going with. I appreciate your time. Here is a reference list of everything that I referenced. Thank you.